Welcome back to the LitLab certification course. This is Module 5 and this is the last module of the course. In Module 5, you will create your own story, you will edit your story, and then you will publish your story to the community library. So usually when you create your own story, I recommend creating that story with some customization in mind in order to customize for your students and incorporate their interests. So looking back at the data from my dashboard, I had a demo student, let's call this student Charlie, and if you remember from Module 4, my student Charlie has almost mastered Lesson 59 in U5 VCE review. So maybe I want Charlie to practice one more story with Lesson 59 VCE review. So I will go to Create. I will select Fiction. I'm going to select UFly Lesson 59. And this is where things can get a little more fun. So I will choose my character. I'm going to choose a sloth. Students love to see their own names in the story, so I'm going to enter Charlie's name as the character name. And then I do have some quick staff tips for you as you all are creating your own custom stories. So one is, if you would like to have a more seasonal story, you can enter 1 to 2 keywords in a phrase that are related to the season. So let's say it's fall, I could type in fall festival, press enter to get that as a 2-word phrase. I could type in pumpkin patch, and this will create a story that incorporates these words and thus incorporate a fall theme. But for now, with my student Charlie, let's say Charlie loved the color purple. So maybe I'll make my character, or pink. Maybe I'll make my character a pink sloth. So I'm writing in pink sloth. And here's this is the quick tip that I really like to share with a lot of educators. You can have characters that are consistent across all the stories that you create. So maybe Charlie's consistent character is a sloth and it's a pink sloth, and that's where you can get the characters to really look alike across all the stories that you create. So my custom keywords are pink sloth. Maybe I'll make this story long so Charlie has a bit more practice, and maybe the story will be a bit more complex because Charlie has really almost mastered this skill. And then I'm going to choose fully illustrated. So you'll see some LitLab quick tips here as your story is loading. The first thing that will load is the story text. That will likely load in a little bit, and then the next thing that will load are the illustrations. We'll know the illustrations are loaded when this says view your story. So now we can review the story, look at the vocabulary guide, see if we need to make any edits. So I'm looking here in Words to Pre-Teach. Charlie will know how to say his or her name or how to read it. So I'll leave in Charlie place. I believe that Charlie might recognize this word because it's in a lot of different texts, but palace seems to be like a word that I don't think Charlie will know, a 2-syllable word like palace. So I'm going to look for the word palace in this story. So in this story, it says he had to name the home. I will name it the Pink Palace, he said. So when I'm thinking about editing my story, I think I'm going to replace the word palace. Now my story is illustrated, so it's time to check out the illustrations and edit the story. So I'm just going to pause right here. At this point in the module, you should have created a story and have the text and image generated. So if it's not created yet, or you don't have their illustrations ready yet, pause here and pick back up when your story is ready to edit. So picking back up, I'm going to look at my illustrated story. So I'll press View Illustrated Story here. If you remember, my custom words were pink sloth. So here's Charlie the pink sloth. Charlie the pink sloth had a plan. He had a pile of sticks. I will make a home, he said. Charlie made the sides of the home. He made a hole for the gate. The home had the same shape as a big cake. What a fine home, said Charlie. I'm looking at here, and obviously the size is a bit different, so I'm thinking I want to re-illustrate that. He had to name the home. I will name it the Pink Palace, he said. So now I have some edits in mind. I'm going to press edit here. So this is the editing view of LitLab. So I can go in and directly edit any text just by clicking. So if you remember, there was that page that said palace, and I want to replace that. So I will name it the Pink Place, he said. So that will automatically save. And then there was also this issue here with the size of the home. So in order to change the image, you can press regenerate, or you can edit the prompt directly. So the prompt here is illustrate a fluffy pink sloth with gentle brown eyes, admiring his cake-shaped home made of sticks. So maybe I'll say here, his large cake-shaped home, and then maybe I'll say he's a small sloth, just to try to get that sizing better. Now the image is loading. So I might regenerate this again because it doesn't really look like this home here. So I'll regenerate. Great, so that's looking better. And then I wanted to regenerate this image. So maybe I want, instead of Charlie to be with the home, I want him to be thinking. So I'll say illustrate a pink sloth with gentle brown eyes in the forest, thinking hard with his hand on his chin. So I'll generate image. Great, so this is a picture of Charlie thinking. So I'm pretty sure I'm happy with my story, so I'm going to press done here. I'm just going to take one more look. We can all look through it together. Great, so I am happy with my story. Only 2 words to pre-teach. The images are consistent. Now I'm ready to move my story to the community library. So I'm going to pause here. At this point, you should have a story that you've generated, that you've made at least one edit to, and that you're ready to publish. So if you're not at that place right yet, pause here, finish up your story, edit it, and then come back. So picking back up, now I'm ready to move my story to the community library. So in order to move it to the library and publish it, it's really simple. Press private here and then press community library. So we have some safety checks. We don't want unsafe stories being published to the library, so we are getting a safety check right now on my story. This means that it passed the safety check, and now my story is published. So I can view my story in the community library. And there it is, Charlie's Pink Palace. when I'm looking at it now, I just realized that I actually want to change the title because I removed that word palace. So I want to edit it, but I cannot edit it if it's in the community library. So I'm just going to move it back to private. Press edit. I'm going to press edit title here. Charlie's Pink Home. Save. And then I'm going to move it back to the community library. Press done. And then move it to the community library. Okay. And that is the end of Module 5 and thus the end of the LitLab certification course. I hope you all enjoyed the course and I cannot wait to see your creations in the community library. Please reach out to me if you have any feedback, if you have any thoughts, or if you have any questions. My email is drew@litlab.ai, drew@litlab.ai, and I'm here to help. Thank you all.